start by saying it's not easy. You got to pitch for a lot of stuff before someone will use it. It probably goes without saying there's a lot of music out in the world, and you're not the only person who wants to get your song on a TV show. So it requires a certain degree of diligence, hard work, and building connections. But hey, you know, everything good in life takes hard work, and it doesn't mean you can't do it. A couple things to consider when you're pursuing licenses. Most licenses are, the people who decide on these are called music supervisors. So there are a couple different types. There's freelance music supervisors. A lot of them are in Los Angeles, but they're everywhere. And they'll get attached to a project. They'll be hired by the TV show or the movie and given a budget, and they'll say, you know, here's what we want you to find. We need a song, maybe we need a song that's happy and it has female vocals and it has xylophones. We need another track, it's like a hip-hop track for a scene in a club. We need another thing that's instrumental and, you know, hopeful and cinematic. So there are certain styles of music, obviously, that are particularly sought after when it comes to licensing. And the best thing you can do to increase your chances of getting something licensed are try to build connections with music supervisors. There's a couple ways to do it. There are companies, they're called sync placement agencies, like my own, Friendly Fire Licensing, but there's dozens and dozens that do this specifically. And they've built relationships with music supervisors and ad agencies, so that they're a trusted source, and the ad agencies will come to them with these music searches, and they'll submit whatever they have from the catalog that they think fits. So if you have something that's good, one thing to consider is reaching out to a placement agency. The other thing to consider doing is going straight to music supervisors, and don't be discouraged. They get a lot of submissions. If you write a lot of people and not everyone gets back to you, that's okay, keep trying. One thing that I would suggest, and this applies really any time that you're submitting music to people or trying to get people to pay attention to you. Being diligent counts, obviously, but also having your act together in the first place. What someone doesn't want is to get some email with, you know, 3 giant MP3 attachments, and then you open up the song and you can't see what the title of the song is because it's just called Untitled Track by Unknown Artist. That's going to piss them off. So you want to send them, make sure your information, all of your data, like the name, you know, the track title, contact information, make sure it's all in place so that when you send them something, you have an impressive and slick package to send them. It's all about minimizing the amount of work the music supervisor has to do. Because if they're going to have to go through 10 steps just to hear the music and figure out who the hell you are, they're going to lose interest. They're getting dozens, if not hundreds of emails a day. So I strongly consider when you're reaching out to these people with your music, don't send them 30 tracks at once. Pick your best track. It's great. Music supervisors love it when you've done a little research and you know what they're working on. So if it's a big music supervisor and you can find this information online, there's a great resource, and it does cost money, unfortunately, but you have to subscribe to a thing called the Film and Television Music Guide. It's a giant file, like a PDF, that has contact information for hundreds of music supervisors. So it's a big supervisor, Google them. Look on IMDb, that's the Internet Movie Database, see what projects they're working on, see what projects they worked on before. So the more individual attention you can put into these things, the better. Once you do get on someone's list and you do start submitting, only send them a track if you genuinely think it's what they're looking for. It can be frustrating because if you have music and you think it's great, but it's not what the person's looking for, no matter how good of a relationship you have, they're not going to put it in the movie or the TV show. I guess the real takeaway here is know your audience, build relationships with music supervisors, or team up with a sync placement agency or a label or a publisher who already has those relationships in place. And be prepared to pitch a lot before something lands. Don't get discouraged. It's kind of just a numbers game. But if your music is dope, it'll find a home. I really do believe that if you're persistent and you're professional about how you do it, sooner or later, the odds are that you will land a license, and ultimately it can be a great way to grow your career.
PeaceTones.